Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about some makeup products that I wish I used more and that I really don't get enough use out of. When I bought all of these products, I thought they'd be holy grails in my collection and absolute staples, things that I'd use on like an everyday or even a weekly basis. But I have to remind myself to use a lot of these products, and I just thought I'd get so much more use out of them. So if you want to see some of the products that just don't get enough love or enough use in my collection, just keep on watching. So as a disclaimer, I really like all of these products. I use them, I just don't use them enough. But if I didn't like them, I would just declutter them from my collection. But I definitely like them. And I'm thinking about starting a Shop My Stash series on my channel in September and doing it bi-weekly, so I can definitely throw in some of the makeup that's not getting enough use and just rediscover old favorites. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing on my channel, because I've been kind of going back and forth with the idea about filming it. But I love all these brands and I love all these products. And the first two products are actually from one of my favorite brands, which is Anastasia Beverly Hills. The first item is the Riviera Palette, which is actually what I'm wearing on my eyes. I did do a tutorial when this palette first launched, so I can link that up above or down below if it's something that you find you don't get enough use out of and you want some more inspiration. I feel like the reason that I bought this palette was because I was so excited that Anastasia was doing color. This is definitely one of their most colorful palettes by far, and I would say it was the most colorful prior to the Alyssa Edwards palette. I was so excited. I thought this was my everyday summer palette, and I could just envision myself creating pink, purple looks with these beautiful shimmers all over the lid. But in reality, when it comes to day-to-day makeup, I stick to neutrals, and I do adventure with color like on the weekends or for a fun night out. But even then, I find that this palette sometimes lies on the back burner. I think this has great quality. Anastasia makes one of my favorite eyeshadow palette formulas, so I'm really never disappointed with her quality. I think some of the mattes can be trickier, especially this purple and this pink, but they're still workable. You just don't want to do them when you have 5 minutes to put on eyeshadow and run out the door. Anastasia definitely snapped with her shimmer quality. The Modern Renaissance, the Prism palette, even the Subculture had good shimmers, but from Norvina on to like Norvina, Sultry, this palette, her shimmers have been amazing. I really like the fact that you do have colorful shimmers, because when it comes to colorful looks, I tend to gravitate towards a neutral crease and put a pop of shimmer onto the lid. So I feel like I am more challenged when it comes to these colorful mattes, but I have been able to use these pink looks, this mustard, this bronze, and this gold in my everyday looks, and I actually get compliments on them when I'm out and about. I just have to remember to use this palette more and not be intimidated by this bright pink and this bright purple, because it sometimes catches me off guard. I really do love the Anastasia palette formula, and I think I might get more use out of this if I paired it with some other palettes. I am planning on buying the Jackie Aina x Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm not sure where this video is going up in relation to hopefully the video that I filmed with that palette, but I think some of those colors would look really pretty with this and vice versa. So I'm thinking about doing some videos on my channel about mixing and matching palettes, because sometimes I get stuck in a rut when I just use one palette, but some of these purples and these pinks would complement the Norvina palette so well. I just have to remember to put them both out on my vanity when I'm getting ready. The next Anastasia product is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Contour Kit for fair to light skin tones. I first went to Sephora when contouring was all the rage, and I was like, how do I contour? And they showed me this palette, and I thought my life was changed. But this palette was retailing for $40, and I did not know enough about makeup to buy anything for $40. I used the NYX Blush and Taupe for such a long time because Nikkie Tutorials used the NYX Blush and Taupe, and I thought I could be like Nikkie Tutorials. But when I saw this at Marshalls and TJ Maxx a little over a year ago, I immediately had to buy it. I bought it right before I was in my friend's wedding as a bridesmaid, and I was doing my own makeup as well as some of the other bridesmaids, so I was like, of course I need a contour kit, like we need to be sculpted. Realistically, I could have done with a contour single, and I bought this toward the end, or like the very end of the contouring phase, so I feel like people just aren't contouring as much anymore. I love a good bronze moment, and I do contour on nights out, and I use these banana shade and the vanilla shade to set my eyes if I'm going for something really highlighty and dramatic. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm not reaching for a full contour kit because I'm not sculpting my cheeks to perfection. This highlight is a little less in your face than highlights that I like this one. So I'm not reaching to the palette for the highlight. When I do reach the palette, it's so I can contour, but I really contour on such few occasions that I don't find myself reaching to this palette as much as I thought I would. I thought I'd be hitting pan on this palette immediately. I just have to remember to use it because I really do like the bronzer shades too. It's just something that I'm not gravitating towards over my single bronzers and my single highlights and my single setting powders. Another face palette I thought I'd get more use out of is the Becky x Chrissy Teigen face palette. Did I buy this because I'm in love with Chrissy Teigen? Mostly. But also it was on sale and I was just so excited to see it. I don't know if it's because these colors are a little bit darker that they don't necessarily work on my skin tone the best. I can make the highlighters work, it just requires a little extra effort, and I actually find the blush and the bronzer work perfectly. But when I'm in a rush to get out the door, the last thing I'm thinking about is making my highlighters work and finessing them when I'm already late most mornings. I like them, and I really do like the Becca highlighter formula. They were one of the first highlighters, and I feel like they're such a cult staple when it comes to makeup collections. But I probably should have known this was too dark for me. Yes, I can make it work, and I've walked out with these highlighters and looked glowing to the gods. But as a face palette, Chrissy Teigen is definitely darker than I am. It was probably geared toward her skin tone. So I just have to remember to get more use out of this. If I layer it with a cream highlight or mix it with some of my lighter highlights, it can totally be perfect. But sometimes I just don't feel like putting in the extra effort. Now, I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this product, but I have a green lipstick from Colored Rain. This is in the shade Jade, and the shade is absolutely stunning. It's this beautiful, like, metallic jade green, and it's so unique in my collection. You can just see how beautiful that is. I think I bought it because I was like going out on St. Patrick's Day and I was like, of course, I need a green lipstick. But I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've worn this. I think the color's really pretty and I love the Colored Rain liquid lipstick formula. They make some of my favorite lipsticks and they have such a unique color variation. But I probably should have known better than buying a green lipstick. I feel like I'm gonna get most use out of this as like a fun metallic green eyeliner. But I definitely want to try to work for this. I just have to find the right occasion to walk out with lips this color. Another group of products I thought I would use more are glitters. I have a bunch of the Stila glitters and I have some Pixie glitters. I have some Essence glitters. I have some single glitters. I just thought I would use all of these. I think they're absolutely stunning. And when I do use them, I continually get compliments on my eye look. But I'm not wearing glitter Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's just something that I don't really use in the work environment. And sometimes when my eyeshadow is blended and I'm ready to go out, the last thing I want to do is top it with a glitter and risk ruining all that hard work. I have some absolutely beautiful colors. This shade Painted Lady, which is technically one of their highlighters, is my favorite. It's a bronze pink duochrome, and because it's one of their highlighters, it is sheer. I don't know if these are technically eye safe, so I'm not recommending you put them on your eyes. It's kind of use at your own risk. But you can see that full lip. It's gorgeous and it's such an accent. I have the Sea Siren one, which is another duochrome. This one's a pink to blue duochrome. And I don't think I've ever worn this one, but I just like to swatch it and look at my hand. I have another one of the highlighters. This is in the shade Admiral. And this is like a blue-green one. And I actually just wore this for the first time the other day and it was stunning. And then I have another one in the shade Enchantress, which I think this is the one that I use the most because it's the most neutral. And this is one of their glitter and glow, so you can see how much more opaque that is. I also have the Pixie glitter in the shade Crystalline, which is just a bunch of like white holographic glitters. So this can go on top of any look and not really change the base color underneath. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this. This is even half my glitter collection. I literally have a drawer in my bathroom dedicated to glitters. But just look at them, they're so beautiful. But I should have known, maybe I don't need 10 glitters. I could have done with 2, even 3. But I think I went a little excessive and just got so excited about how pretty they are and like how beautiful the swatches are that I forgot to put in some realism in my makeup collection. I want to get more use out of these, but I wear them occasionally going out, and honestly, I wear them more filming than I do anything else. Another product that I'm disappointed I don't use more is the ColourPop Super Shock Highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. I actually talked about this in a monthly faves and flops, and I think I put it in the category. I don't hate this, but I don't like this. And realistically, I should have known I wouldn't be crazy about this because I actually am not crazy about the Super Shock shadows. I find them to be finicky to work with, and I think that's why I'm not crazy about this product. The Super Shock shadows and the Super Shock like cheek products are such an interesting formula. They're not as easy to apply with a brush and just run out the door. I find sometimes they work with a finger, but then I feel like I need to keep laying around product. Sometimes they work with a brush, but the brush doesn't really put it on smoothly. I just feel like this is so difficult. Sometimes I can put it on with a finger, sometimes I can put it on with a brush, but sometimes it's not opaque enough, sometimes it's too opaque. I thought this would be a lot easier than it is. There's a swatch and you can tell it's absolutely beautiful, and it's one of those highlights that looks like nothing until the light hits it and it looks stunning. But I think because it's that cream to powder formula that we all know and love from ColourPop, I should have known better. Their Super Shock products are such a finicky product that I was so excited to try this because I know so many people love the Super Shock highlighters, but I should have known based on my experience with the Super Shock shadows, this wouldn't get as much love as it deserves. Another ColourPop product that I got are the loose pigments that were in collaboration with Kathleen Light's Zodiac collection. This is in the scales and I actually have it topped on the pink shade from the Riviera palette on my eyes today. This is beautiful. I also use this in a tutorial, so I'll have that tutorial either linked up above or down below. It's a little bit easier to work with than I originally anticipated. I honestly thought that loose pigments would be a mess and just a hassle, but it's such a beautiful like baby pink color with blue glitters and it looks stunning on the eyes. There's a swatch of it right there. It's absolutely beautiful, but I just find that I don't reach for it. Maybe it's because I put this in the same drawer as my glitters because I kind of classify it as one of those eye toppers. Even though I bought a neutral enough color that it could stand on its own, I just don't reach for this. Maybe it's the extra step of having to wet your brush or just like open the cap, dip your brush in, just like, it's a little bit longer than throwing a shimmer onto my eye and getting out the door. But Kathleen Lights can sell me just about anything. And when I saw her loose pigment video, I was like, of course I'm gonna use that. I really should bring this out more because I feel like in the summer, I like those like shimmery washes of color. And like I said, this is a lot easier to apply than I thought I would be. I just need to put it onto my vanity instead of hiding it in the back of my drawer and get more use out of it. I have a few other Zodiac pigments on my wish list on ColourPop.com, but I don't think I'm gonna buy them until I can put some serious use into this one because that's what I need, another pigment just lying in my collection that's not really getting used as much as it should. I also have the Masquerade palette by Devious Place. I bought this because everybody was saying that Devious Place is the best eyeshadow palette formula on the market, and when I saw it on Outlook, I snatched this one up. Granted, if I looked at all the Devious Place palettes, I don't think this would have been the first one that I bought. It's a half colorful, half neutral palette, but when I'm looking for color, I don't think about this palette because it has the neutrals. And I'm looking for neutrals, I don't think about this palette because I associate it as a colorful palette. So it's kind of just in this limbo in my collection. What people say about the Devious Place palette formula is completely right. These shimmers look like a bedazzled jewel on your eye, and they're such a great formula, and it does hold up well. For some reason, I just find that I don't reach for this. This would definitely be one of the first palettes put in my Shop My Stash series because I love the looks I could create. I can create some beautiful half cut creases while using these neutrals and the outer corner and then putting these shimmers all over the lid, or even throwing these blues or these greens on the lower lash line for a fun pop of color. I just have to work more to get use out of this palette because I find sometimes I can look at this at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and just not be inspired. So definitely gonna go on my Shop My Stash series when I start to film that. The last two products that I have are both from Wet n Wild. And I feel like I bought this one when the whole color correcting craze began. This is their color correcting palette. It comes with the yellow, the purple, the green, and like a white shade. I thought I'd color correct every day. I thought I'd be those girls that putting orange on their lips and green under their eyes and wherever and color all over my face. But I've used this maybe 3 times. I actually tried to offer it to friends and they're like, Jamie, we wouldn't use that either. I used the green color recently, but it's the first time in a while that I've used it. Do you remember when color correcting was like all the hype and I thought I needed it? But not everybody needs to color correct. I think if you're a working makeup artist, something like this is great because you never know what kind of clientele you're gonna get. But the only person I do makeup on is me and occasionally my friends, and this isn't something that I'm gonna use. I also find that, like some of the other products, color correcting comes with a learning curve because the last thing I need is a bunch of green dots all over my face coming through my foundation. And the last product I have is this Wet n Wild Hello Halo Liquid Highlighter. And this is in the shade, I believe it's Halo Goodbye. It is Halo Goodbye. There was a while that I was trying to buy cream and liquid products so I could like force myself to be on this like natural makeup trend when I'm still a powder girl at heart. I have some cream highlighters that I use, but I tend to prefer cream products over liquid products because I feel like cream's definitely easier to work with. Also, this color isn't something that I get the most use out of. It's like a pinky color and it's pretty, but it might be a little bit too pink for me. I also have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in the shade Blossom Glow, which is pretty much the same thing as this, but in a powder form. And I find that the color is so unflattering on me that I'm actually about to give it to a friend. Maybe if I picked up a different color, I would like this more, but there's also like micro glitter in this, and I find that this doesn't sit the best on top of my foundation. I could use it more, especially under my makeup or like my no makeup days. I just find that I tend to reach for a powder because this can be so difficult to work with at times. Realistically, I don't know how much longer this product's gonna be in my collection, but while I have it and while I spent the money on it, I wanna get as much use as possible. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for today's video about products in my makeup collection that I just don't use as much as I thought I would. Once again, I love all these products. I just wish I could show them some more love. So I'm definitely gonna try to rotate through my makeup collection more and rediscover old favorites and use up products. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. I post about 2 to 3 videos every week and I'd love to have you come join me in my next one. But that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching.